it
Know
came to me.
myself well enough to not need to prove that most MC's feet would be swelling up in these shoes. I fell in
But
love with them and move your mind
I had a
like a
buddy who
step.
found it
My presence
first.
is laced in every rhyme I possess. I found myself
What is
thinking, where
life
was I when the alien
and who are
replaced me
you?
with that other guy? Within the
And
cupboard
how
is
would
a
you
different
know
kind
if you
of
were
air
born
supply,
in it
not the same as that outside
as
air.
that
The
person?
door flew open and the colors were there. Another layer peeled back and nothing existed but the
It's
Tupperware.
always
I
happening.
blurred the line between wishful thinking and a memory, and I put the flame to the enemy. Think
Time
about it long
isn't even
enough and
fundamental,
form
it's a
energy.
result.
It all makes sense
It's a
to me.
derivation
Plastic
of reality,
fumes arise when connections are made.
of
Next time, use a higher grade
phase
or
change
fry a charade. No
being
school of
observed.
quality, commercial space. In
As
between the
in, if any
phases,
amount of time goes
time
by
out
at
of the
all,
game.
life is
Paid for
happening.
and borrowed by a guy digging up the graves. Tilling soil till this oil bubbles up. Chemistry and stuff.
Life is and when you continue to pay attention to it, you realize it's all that there is. Trust that it knows. Trust that it has its own best interest in mind, which includes you.
I spell it out, one reality at a time, until the rhymes are like chunks in your mind, opening up the third eye. Right here, right now, the cross section of space and time. Lost legends of the psychonaut explorer, plugged into a fender, ascending the vibrational lattice, like patterns, waves in the fabric,
So,
make up the matter as they reflect off each other. In a spiral like Jacob's ladder, rival tribes scatter.
what is the point of thinking?
Level 7 schizo god, this old odd flow is not flawed. In fact, the laws it follows are logical from the pin drop to beyond. Labeled like the Zyprexa, represses solutionations upon digestion.
Most of the stuff
And start rapping
that most
and
people
see what
think about
happens.
is
No need
trivial.
to imagine.
The problem with humankind right now is that we've built and developed this social structure that is reliant on an economy and reliant on political leaders to tweak the settings of this system. And everywhere people are fighting for your attention because your attention gets them paid. The government wants your attention. Facebook wants your attention. Clothing companies want your attention. Nature as a whole is a system that is more intelligent than any supercomputer, any artificial intelligence or any human being for that matter. Now, somehow, nature has found a way to self-sustain on this planet for over 1 billion years. And it keeps getting better. You will find, if you look for intelligence in nature, that it, if you will, can take any part of itself and give rise to intelligence. If you go into the woods and try to communicate with nature, this whale can be inside of the water. I can tell you from personal experience, outside of the water, that we still have a connection with nature. The wave, even though we treat it as a resource instead of a living being. Existence insinuates that trees communicate with each other like families. The older, taller ones shed their leaves so that more sunlight can get through to the younger, smaller ones. That right there is evidence of intelligence. Now, a problem in science is that many people just argue what they think is true and use different factoids and things to sort of make it sound correct. I'm claiming that the fact that trees can sympathetically shed leaves for each other is evidence of their intelligence, just the same as human intelligence, logic, problem solving of the outside world. That experience, maybe even beyond human intelligence, because how many people would not sympathetically shed their own leaves to help somebody else, to help the society as a whole? I don't want to get political, but people who are thinking that there shouldn't be food stamps and that there, shouldn't be public services like that are just making it harder for us to develop as a species. You see colors, hear sounds, and so don't point to factoids and then just say that justifies your opinion without connecting them somehow. Because you could say, oh, well, mechanical functionings can lead to this and that and this and that in certain circumstances. Imagine to try to argue against the intelligence of nature. It's the basis of existence. But if you can't show how those are connected, then I'm not interested in hearing your argument. This can be seen as black and white. Our experience is not only valid. We've been told not to trust our experience since we were children. Trust data. Don't trust anecdotal evidence. And B, our experience at the end of the day is the only thing we can actually rely on. No one else is going to tell us what's happening.
or not fire. Black,
And
black
life,
is in a state of energy,
life
like pistons.
in its
And now
foundation
you see that they can line up to create synchronous
is
firings
something that functions on
that
simple rules.
ultimately produce experience, but
But
also
I don't
allow
believe
the
that the
awareness
rules existed
for that
as
experience.
limiters and that it has to follow these rules. I believe they're more like
So depending
behaviors
on
that
what your
it
brain is
learned
doing,
it can
you're gonna be
do
aware of different
in
things
order
in
to
your
advance
brain.
itself. And so it follows those behaviors to a strict, kind of like how fungus grows in a similar pattern, or how, you know,
So
flames dance. But everything that exists, and so now you say, hold up a minute, wait, what actually
coming back
exists?
in
Because,
to the water.
at this point in evolution, it's already something,
That is representing
or
a
it's
phase
non-local
state
to the
of
physical
the
world.
entire system.
And you
Because
can't get
since
around
the base root of
non-physicality
is
in a
this
theory of
one
everything. You
big
just can't. Because
yes, no computation.
everything in the universe includes a human's ability to
All
see
things
colors.
that are based on any combination
And
of these
so, until you
are
can
going to be
prove that
affected
seeing colors is a
by the
100%
phase
physical process,
of the ground floor element.
there has to be a
So
non-physical
think of it like
element.
a house of
What are
cards.
thoughts? What is a thought? Not what causes it, not what parts of the brain activate when you have one.
Instead of
What
removing one of
is
the
a
bottom cards
thought?
and the house
And so
collapses,
materialism erodes
you
rapidly
remove
with
one
any
of the
amount of
cards on the
scrutiny.
bottom, and the rest of the house readjusts so that it can stay standing in a way that is relying on only the remaining cards.
Life can behave in ways that it
And so whether or not that
finds
card is
are
there,
applicable
black or white,
in a four-dimensional
and
space.
therefore
It's as simple as
all
that.
of the higher
I mean, you
levels
could make your environment
of
so
the
complicated
house
and obscure
now
and
have this
chaotic
property
that it would have a hard
where
time patternizing, maybe. But I'll just look at your
they
surroundings, for example.
are going
The
to
contrast
have their
between light and shadow.
attributes affected by the phase.
This is a binary system
So,
of functioning bits
you know,
that
a
say
better
if
way
there
to
is no
view
light,
this,
shadow. Now this is a perception because we don't perceive
it's
shadow,
like
we perceive light. But in the same sense,
tree lights on a Christmas tree.
if you look at the color wheel, you see black and
You
white
know,
as
when you plug
opposites.
them in,
And these
the
are
lights
two
illuminate
phases
and
in
you
a
see
system that says
colors.
on, off, on,
When you
off.
unplug them,
And so the system as a whole, phase A, phase B,
you see the plastic casing where the light is.
these
The light
patterns
itself, not the actual light coming from
exist
the electricity.
non-locally.
So on the
And
inside of this casing,
I argue
you have a light, and whether or not
that for
it's
reasons
on
unbeknownst
or
to
off,
me,
but on the outside you have this colored casing that determines,
in the very least,
you know,
language
and then in all
understanding,
the combinations of those,
and
eventually a pattern
stimulation
of colors
of
emerges,
the cannabinoid system
and
can cause these patterns to be
this
visible.
pattern disappears
These
when
colors.
you take away
Now,
the electricity, but only in the sense that if you look up closely, you can still see the color
Life
plus.
really is the only thing that
It's
exists.
really not whether or not the pattern is
If you're a
illuminated
panpsychist
that is
and you say
the basis of this system.
quantum fields
It's that
behave in this
the
way,
colors are there
give
regardless
rise
of whether
to
or not
electrons and
they're
things,
being illuminated. And that is one
you
detail
realize that nothing that exists, everything, you know what, there's no such thing as
that is
non-existence
affected by
unless
lower level
we are
functioning, even
considering the
though,
idea
which color it
that
is
potential,
already determined by the plastic tips on the lens.
quote unquote, doesn't exist. But I would
And so
argue
when
that
you're
it
thinking about
does.
systems and how things function,
In
you
Hilbert
know,
space,
the number of dimensions affects what kind of
we're not
parameters
in
you
4 dimensions. We are in who knows how many
So
we can interact with
using
and
your
perceive
mind as a
4
way
dimensions.
to,
But that's because of
for example,
evolutionary
visualize
tactics
something
based on
like this.
biological parameters.
you know,
That has nothing to do with the ultimate truth. We're looking for
point
aliens, we're looking for them on other planets, man. We should be
is
out
to
there
be able
exploring
to
Hilbert space, analyzing
to
these things with
your brain
super smart AI,
to give you access
looking for signals of life
levels of
within that
experience
data. You know, because that's going to point
beyond
towards
everyday
Hilbert space, which has infinite dimensions. Wouldn't it be more likely that aliens would congregate in a place that has a number of dimensions that can accommodate them, regardless of how many they interact with in their physical
get
form?
your mind to think
Maybe, see what
on
I'm saying?
a
So
level
physical isn't only 4
that
dimensions.
is understanding the coexistence of everything, the interconnectedness of things, and how those things affect each other.
Look at the dance of a
Because
candle
all things in reality are
and
connected.
realize
It's just
that it came from the same
sometimes
source
they're
as the
connected
sun.
in ways that only are relevant to their core existence. Which the core existence
Your
of
parents had you,
existence is existing.
but this planet had
I mean, something
them.
can either exist or not,
In the same
but it
sense,
can't really
the
not
planet
exist.
had you
So if it exists,
because
you know,
all are connected.
got
Couldn't have one without the other. Without the planet, your parents would have never met.
information for anything to exist. It sounds like a paradox.
So there's a non-physical element
It
to any
sounds like
good
a paradox, but
theory of
something has
everything.
to not exist in order for it to exist. Yet things only exist; they don't not exist.